being a bellhop or being a valet person. So, anyway, today's focus, we're going to talk about why do black men date and marry white women, and why do black women date and marry white men?
Why?
Yeah. What you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, hopefully they do it because they love that person. However, that's not always the case with everyone, but in a perfect world, it will be because they're just madly in love with that individual.
Yeah.
Or, like I mentioned last week, they stated that's just their surroundings, so that's all that they had available for them at the time, which we all know that's inaccurate, like Donald mentioned. It's a cop-out. Just like we get in our cars, we want to go check out a certain concert or club, we can do that when we want to go meet different people. And that's how it should be with anything that we do. So I agree.
Okay, well, we're going to go to clip 1 and check out
what we're talking about.
I'm so sorry here.
Thanks, Anton. You're so sweet and cute, too, in a Theo Huxtable kind of way. Are you new here?
Yeah, it's my first day.
Mine, too.
Really?
Yeah, I just moved here bringing nothing but my hopes and my dreams. But sometimes the big city can be so big. A girl needs friends, Anton. Would you like to be my friend?
Okay, now, we know that is a bad white girl. I'm just saying.
Did you just go through that the other day? You just told me that you helped some white girl pick up her paper she dropped and stuff like that.
No. We're not talking We're not talking about that here. I don't think today.
Not today.
Not today. But, you know, that clip is it kind of tells a little story.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's what's interesting. Okay, so I did a little research for coming here, right? And so our dear friend of the show, D.L. Hughley, he's given us 10 reasons why black men should date white women.
Why they should.
Why they should.
He said why they should. He said why they should.
Okay,
so
let's hear this one.
He said number 10, they don't wear weaves.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
All day. Yes, they do.
He's talking 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
No, really, they
You know what?
do.
I remember.
Trust me.
We remember Farrah Fawcett, right? Because she's like a huge figure a long time ago. She wore a weave, and I didn't know that. I was surprised to find out. Back in the day, so they wear weaves too.
Dolly Parton.
Is there a downside of wearing a weave?
Absolutely not.
It depends on the man.
Depends on the man. Okay.
Yeah, some men don't care.
So his the second thing he said, if you say B, make me a sandwich, you won't get slapped.
Buffy, Becky.
Really?
Okay.
Next.
Okay. They don't have their brothers beat you up if they get caught cheating.
No, the fathers will.
The fathers will.
Let's get it straight.
No, they'll just call their friend who's a judge.
They'll hire a professional.
The fathers.
Do it right.
Yeah, shotgun sitting
That's right.
in the back of the pickup truck.
They don't consider you a failure if you live with your mother. White women will deal with that. You're all right. It's okay. You're just in a situation.
Okay,
right?
I don't trust his opinion. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what he said right here. Then he said they don't think material success and physical attraction are everything.
Well, most women
That's
don't.
absolutely not true.
Most women
Is that
don't.
a black woman thing too?
No.
Okay.
I just think it's a smart woman thing.
No.
They don't worship their pastors and judge their men by church attendance.
No, they
Okay.
don't.
Well,
They don't.
What do you think about that? No?
Do they really take it serious?
I don't know many black women who worship their pastors.
No.
So, yeah, that's...
Maybe when you get a little older and lonely.
You know what? I don't know about that one. I might know some, but okay. What else?
They understand that a woman can be independent without emasculating every man in her path. Ooh, he's taking a real rough side of it. He's like really like making y'all seem crazy.
And you can flip that because I see all that every day. So
Says who? Soon as he breaks her heart, she is on top of what he didn't have. She may not have done it while she was with him, but soon as he broke her heart, all of the good stuff comes out.
Yeah, I wonder what some of these callers are going to think too when they chime into some of this. This is kind of interesting stuff. Being nice is not a crime, and they don't blame all their problems on black men.
Wait, go back one.
I'm sorry, because they're not black.
Wait, go back one.
Being nice is not a crime.
That reminds me of that movie. What was it? Jungle Fever. It was Wesley Snipes, I think.
Jungle Fever. Yeah.
Yeah. So the scene was, it was him and the girl, and they just had the scene, and he said, "Can you make me a sandwich?" He knew what was going to happen, right? She jumped up and went and made a sandwich, and he was sitting with his eyes bucked open, like, "Wow, is this how the other side lives?" This is not me talking. I'm just.
Why is that such a big thing? Making a sandwich, really?
I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Oh, maybe
the other one is tripping out on
No, really.
That's the question. Maybe sometimes being nice is okay.
Okay, so then Lifestyle Magazine article that was published in January earlier this year gave the 5 top reasons why black women should date white men. Interesting. Or why they date white men, rather. One was respect. White men are far more willing to communicate than black men. White men are more inclined to be more family oriented or open to the whole family thing than black men. I'm just saying what the article says.
Okay.
That white men make it a point to make their woman, in this case I guess the black woman, more of a priority. And it says right here, this is funny, Caucasian men are devoted sheep. She does not have to pussyfoot search for his cell phone and have stake out with friends to confirm or rebuff the concept of cheating, because white men probably can't jump, but they know how to leap when demonstrating perfect ethical and moral innuendos.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, I think
Don, we can't take that, bro.
No, I think DL gave too much credit to just one group of men.
Yes, he did.
Because I know
Very much.
Oh, this is a different article. This is not DL right here.
Oh,
Different
okay.
article.
All right. Well, still, they gave too much credit to that one group of men.
Yeah.
I would say 90% of the men in my life have all done those things. 90%. And the 10, they just didn't make the cut anyway. So.
Were they all black men?
Majority.
Well, mine's were all
I think we're trying to make a distinction what the black
99%.
men do versus the white men. That's what we're trying
Right. Okay. Well, I would say out of the black men, 90% did those things.
to. Okay.
Okay,
And
good.
I would say 99% in my life.
99%. But you guys are both still single, right?
No.
I'm just saying.
So is there a problem with
Only by choice.
By choice.
Okay. Win by choice. Yeah.
You're a good man. You're great to me, stuff like that. But I'm just going to remain single. That was how that goes.
Yeah.
No, it could be I'm just not, feeling you.
into
I'm
you?
not.
Okay.
It's not that type of attraction.
Okay. Oh, and the last one, too, was that white men are far more open to marrying than black men.
Not true.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
Not
true.
true. It depends on just the individual and where he is in his life
That's
at that
right,
time.
when he's ready.
You got to catch him, and maybe she's not ready.
Yeah, a lot of
for that.
times he's ready and she just
Yeah, so it
tripping.
depends.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't, look, let's just say this. Look, I've been through some dumb stuff with some sisters, big time, from being divorced and if I kind of laid out some stuff I've been through with black women, it's been crazy. But not one time have I come to a conclusion to say, you know what, I'm going to jump to the other race. It's never hit me to where I would just paint with a broad brush that all black women are like these other women I may have dated and had bad experiences with. So I don't know.
so to contrast that.
I'm still fascinated by y'all sisters. So
Awesome.
And we're still all different.
They keep you on your toes, huh?
yeah.
But there is a thing where, not for myself personally, but for some people, you date for a while, which is, the conversation has gone towards black people mostly, right? So
Right.
this is what we're talking about.
Right.
So black men might just be tired and say, well, shoot, at this point, the sisters ain't doing nothing for me. So let me see, let me see what my options are. Maybe that's not what I want to do, but wait, maybe that's not what he wants to do, but
Maybe the women are just as tired. It can go both ways, because I think a lot of the women are getting the short end of the stick. the men, they're already roaming the earth, and they're picking up.
Consistently.
Yes, and so the women have been faithful and sticking by them. So maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the women should be more fed up and done with the trifling behavior and riffraff and all the things that some women put up with. Maybe they should start seeking.
There's a
advice.
problem with what men are thinking about women and what women are thinking about men, and both not being accurate. This is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say this. I do understand to a point about people stating they're tired. I don't think it's tired. It's just what happens is that for men, okay, I'll give an instance, not my own, obviously, but close friends. I have tons of male best friends.
Go ahead, you can confess.
Oh, absolutely not. I have tons of male best friends.
We'll keep it right here. We won't tell anybody.
I'm very blessed. I have no issues. I really think very grateful. But I do have a lot of male best friends, and I've had them for over 10 to 20 years. And they all love their queens. Doesn't mean they haven't dated other races or they haven't dated, but one particular friend went to a party and he has always tried to get a beautiful black woman, always. Over 20 years since I've known him, and he's still single since I've seen him. Recently, I seen him come to a party with a Hispanic woman, and for the first time, I had no anger. Number one, she was hot. She was very good looking, something that her own race would drool over. Okay? And number two, she was kind, and she definitely gave him a lot of attention that he's just been dying for 20 years. So I wasn't upset because he's been waiting and dating, and he just is sweet and kind, successful, but it's never worked out for him. So for me, knowing him personally, I'm just happy he's finally happy.
Yeah.
For someone who just singles out only, that's a problem.
Well, that's good. He found someone that works for him in his life, and that's what it's all about, finding happiness no matter
Exactly.
who it is.
Exactly.
And if you find the person you like and the person that fits the description that you like, then, that's what it's about.
Yeah, they look good together. I can't say.
Okay, phone number to call in is 310-928-1800. 310-928-1800. You can call in and jump in the conversation if you like. Give us your thoughts, your comments.
We're waiting. And we're ready.
Yeah, so while we're waiting, if I can just throw this on you, here's 10 reasons why black men should not date white women. This is
Okay.
very interesting. You guys want to hear this?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting.
Yes, Carrie.
Number one, white women cannot identify with the struggle of being black, being a black male in America.
And if I could say something, because there's some...
That's number one. That was number
There's
one.
some wonderful white women out there, right? Just like everybody else. But if there were a reason not to, that would be the main reason.
Really?
Just the not being able to really identify. Some may, or they may
So.
think they can, but they never really, because if you don't have to live an experience, even if you haven't had it directly, right?
Right.
A lot of us haven't had some of these problems that people have had, in the last couple of decades. But even though there's going to be a difference, so that would be a main reason.
White women typically do not come from families that readily accept people of color.
They got shotguns. They got shotguns.
That's what it is.
Yes, that is it.
In a divorce, white women will take everything you have, including your children.
Well, that's any woman with a good lawyer.
By the way, this is from the Black Globe, February 23rd last year. White women treat their dogs better than they treat other human beings.
In a lot of cases.
Well,
A
sometimes,
lot of cases.
I
some
know
people.
black
a
people
lot of
do that too.
cases.
So
Because I know there's people who are homeless and they'll feed a dog before a person.
Well, I can't understand the sleeping in the bed with the animals
See,
and
that's-
kissing them
if
in the
there was-
mouth.
If there was a reason number two,
I mean,
That would be it. Yes. No
because
kissing.
don't
dogs.
kiss your dog and then come try to kiss me. 'Cause
No,
it's
it will not happen.
then it starts scratching itself and licking.
Or
Yeah.
let the stinky dog come in a room knowing he stink while everybody else is in there like it's really cute, and we're like, no, that's not cute.
Here's something interesting. No matter how gentle you may seem, to how gentle the black may seem, no matter how gentle you may seem, white women will always be afraid of black men.
Not all cases.
No, it depends.
Can we get Buffy Postarkowitz to please call in? We'd like to get your feedback on this.
I don't think they're afraid, especially, you know, if he
Not
has
all.
on a suit, a briefcase, or, you know, a nice.
Not all cases.
When it comes to parenting, white women aren't disciplinarians, they're pushovers.
There's a different background for sure.
It is.
There's a
Because you have
different
Southern white women, they do not play that as well.
Oh, this is funny.
They get a timeout, right?
White women will dime you out to the police if they think you're guilty of a crime.
Oh, yeah, yeah. See?
Oh, y'all agree with that one?
I agree with that. Because, you know, Keisha, she's going to hold you down.
Oh.
She's going to hook up the basement. You're going to hide out for a couple weeks.
Who's
That's
Keisha?
right, that's
Who's
right.
Keisha?
You know who
Oh,
Keisha is.
just a saying.
Officer.
Yeah, your neighbor that you never talked to for the past 5-10 years, and all of a sudden, oh, I was wondering if,
Yeah. Remember in Get Out, dude, one of the girl laying on the ground,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just as soon as she saw the police car, she said, "Police officer." That was kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Go see Get Out. It's a good movie.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, this is interesting. White women don't age well.
I can agree with that. I mean, being in the industry for many, many years and working, you know, with all types of people.
Lady was all wrinkled up, and she was 28 years old.
I just think it's it's genetic, and you know, the sun has a lot to do with it, and natural elements in the air. So
and so that's why Botox is so awesome.
oh yeah, I got some for that too.
See?
Yeah, there's something for
Injections.
everything. Yes.
Oh, white women aren't tough enough to endure the ups and downs of being with a black man.
I don't think any man would be in
Well,
reality.
black women either. I mean, the
I don't
ups and
think any
downs. I
man.
mean, if there's more
Definitely.
downs than ups, it's really not a comfortable situation.
No, that's not
You
what
would
that
hope
means.
not.
What's the lady's name? Not Diana Ross. What's the other one?
I mean, you're there
What's the other
when,
one?
you know, when times are hard, but if times are hard all the time, she might want to rethink her relationship.
There was a lady. It wasn't Diana Ross, but it was the other one, whatever her name is.
Diane Carroll.
Yeah.
There you go, Diane Carroll.
Yeah.
She had the nerve to say once, which speaks to that question and that thought. She married a white guy. I'm sure he was good to her and stuff. He also owned an island, which always helps. And she said that it's really nice to be able to come home and not, I'm paraphrasing, and not have to be black anymore. This is,
Wow.
this is.
You never
I think
said
this
that.
is-
I'm sorry.
I think this is what.
I didn't like a rub
That's
it off.
I think this is
Possible.
what was meant, because she's like, you go home and then everything, you don't have to worry about all this stuff and issues and this and that. So, you know, if that's what you want to do.
Okay, no.
There's that old saying that
Maybe.
being black may not be easy, but it sure feel good. So anyway,
Does.
And it has to
looks
feel good
good.
to you. You
Yeah.
know, you cannot wake up one day and not be it.
right.
So embrace
such
it.
thing
Or
as
if you think you can and you've been putting it off for a while, like if you go down South County into Newport Beach, you run into some black people who just don't let them know, right? And they'll be okay. But as soon as something happens, that whole black thing come out, right?
Doesn't
if the
it?
police pull them over or something, or if there's an incident, or even like we spoke about OJ a couple of weeks ago, you know, he was not black until that incident, and then he was very black then.
Yeah,
And
I kind of believe there's some white people that's out there listening to this show. Got to have an opinion.
there are.
Because
We do
we
call
we
it-
dogging y'all right now.
Well,
But
that's
if
not
government
the
take that-
intent. That's not the intent. We're not
No.
trying to dog
No.
anybody,
No.
but this is just, you know, our personal opinions or experiences.
Standard.
But there are some really good white people out there, and I mean, I
that's
have a lot of them in my
wonderful.
family, so you know, there's
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
there.
Some
Yeah,
wonderful
too.
friends. They are
Yeah.
awesome people.
But
So I
but
have-
this is a reality that
Some of my best
we
friends are
have
white,
to deal
so.
with. Exactly.
I can't say that.
But it is a reality that we have to deal with. And I had a conversation with a lady the other day, and she listened. She didn't call, but she listened. I think she made some comments on the Facebook page, which, just to throw that out there, Take It Off Media on social media platforms is how you can find us. Facebook, Instagram, email, whatever. Take It Off Media.
Media.
She didn't get it. Even after the conversation, as we were discussing it, she still didn't understand. But that's because sometimes if you don't live it, you can't understand.
No.
The last one was, why date a white girl when you can be with a sister who looks like Nicki Minaj?
Exactly.
Why would you want to be with a Nicki Minaj?
I know,
That's
actually,
the
I
problem.
figured that. Because she's a pretty girl, but all that extra she
Mr.
does.
Mill, why do you want to be with Nicki Minaj?
All that extra. You guys, keeping it 100, keepingit100.com. On May 6th, they're having an event. If you go to the webpage, spell out the word 100, you'll find all the information. These are the people who are making this this program possible. Also, MissMyByDesign.com. They do bridal things, like hair and makeup, and you can probably get a dress, or you can probably get a husband if you call early enough.
Catch her at the right
I
time.
ordered those too.
And DrakeRealEstate.com is a real estate website where you can find all your real estate information. And if you need to buy a house or sell a house, make sure you call.
That's right.
You can call me 714-725. What's it?
Oh, giving out the number again.
That's right. Call-in number is 310-928-1800.
310-928-1800.
Please.
I had a question. We talk about white people and things since that's the discussion. What is white? What does that mean?
I know.
It doesn't mean anything. The idea of white, quote unquote, is more of a gang reference, So you're German, Italian, all these other places and things, right?
Right.
But then when you come here, because it's the majority, because it's the dominant group, you just become white. What is white? Because if you say, oh, I'm dating a German guy or I'm dating an Italian guy,
I know you
it kind of has a different feel to it. I don't know, just a thought.
Now, I was just talking about this yesterday with some friends, Zanita. Anyway, so it was interesting. I made the comment, and I would dare someone to kind of challenge this, is that black men in America have the worst stereotype of any other living species,
right.
human organism on planet Earth. Any country, anywhere, we're talking about, I'm even talking about the universe. I mean, there's this exotic side of black men, but then there's all these negative things that are associated with who they think we are and so forth. And that's a little disconcerting. And I think what happens is we tend to experience that. So one thing for instance, someone may say, you're talking to a white guy, say, well, yeah, I think I was discriminating. Say, oh, come on, Carrie, you're being a little bit uptight. Well, it's the innuendo. It's those things that are hard to measure or capture. It's just present in the moment that we often are confronted with, that is based and birthed out of those stereotypes that we typically experience as black men everywhere. So I think I shared about some stuff last week, but yeah.
Well, I will give you an example. This was in the news last week, and it was disheartening, but it is what it is. You probably know this person, NBA player, former NBA, Gilbert Arenas.
Oh yeah, Gilbert.
He made a very, very ignorant comment, and he made it online. He said that dark-skinned women are not beautiful.
Oh my.
Oh,
Did he say that?
Oh,
ridiculous.
yes.
Oh,
This was about a week ago, and he gave a half-ass apology about 4 days ago. He wrote, and he said he took it out of context, or the readers took it out of context.
How do you take that out of context?
Exactly.
And he used
He
an
said it.
example of Lupita.
No, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous. She's
She's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Well, what he said was she will be cute in the dark with the lights off. So this type. So
He doubles
this,
down on it?
well,
means
this
it.
type
He
of
actually
ignorance
means
is
it.
why I think the stereotypes with black men, you guys get a bad case, raw deal, because there's certain men, I mean the worst of them, the worst of the black men, the most ignorant of the black men. A lot of people listen to him. He has a lot of fans, followers, and celebrity status. So when you have someone like that making comments like that, it spreads. It's like
It
a
sure
poison.
does.
So when he did that, and I was really thinking that, wow, I wonder how there's a lot of other black men who may feel the same way. And so then you have the culture. It's changing. Now it's like, oh, okay, well, if black women are not in style, then we have to follow suit. Where instead of supporting, instead of encouraging, instead of uplifting your mother, your sister, your black women,
Right.
you tear them down. And so everyone around you they do the same thing, and so that's why you have the situations that you have now.
Yeah, I think both black men and women are guilty of that. I think black men certainly we are guilty of that, and black women, y'all have gone hard in the paint on the brothers as well, and oftentimes it's birthed out of the pain and the disappointment
Right.
and failed
Yeah, it's not
relationships,
'cause of your black
daddy
man.
not being home. I mean, I think we gave a statistic last week that in
60,
north of 80%
yeah,
of
40.
black families are single parent led households, and the majority are black women. So the absent male, you know, in some cases, you know, it could be that there could be a co-parent situation, but that typically is the exception, not the rule. So
Well, first of all, sorry, I do want to make a comment to this. When she mentions that, all it does, this is why you find other ethnicity women are so arrogant and think that they are so much prettier and so much better than a lot of the black women. And it comes from, like she mentioned, the super ignorance. I'm going to take it to the top because that's ugly, and he is completely ugly. And no one should be allowed on radio or TV to talk like that about, period. They just should not be able to. The whole thing is just that all it does is allow the other race of the women laugh, roll their eyes, and that's why they feel more arrogant and cocky when they get around. If they're in the same room, they feel like automatically the black man is going to talk to her, not the black woman. Because of that ignorance right there, they really believe it. But not all black men feel that way at all.
No, not at all.
not all, but I would say though, it is very true. There's a standard of beauty in the United States.
Exactly.
There's this continuum, and at the end of the continuum, we're as not as attractive and very attractive. The end of the continuum in America is blonde hair, blue eyes. The closer you are to blonde hair, blue eyes, Beyonce, go on. That's sort of the standard of beauty. Another example would be like if you go to a club or any kind of evening outing that you go to where it's mainly dark. I bet you, let's say it's primarily African American women in the room. I bet you the women who are more fair skinned and longer hair get approached first. Anytime.
That goes to, I mean, that's a personal preference of the man. Sometimes he may like.
No, that's that's woven into the fabric of our culture that is driving that image of what's considered beautiful.
And that, what I would call colorism, is something that's been a problem in our community for a very long time, for many years. And colorism, and then you have the self-hate.
Right.
So all that takes part, as we mature, as we grow up, and if the cycle is not broken, then our kids, they see their parents, with the same issue, and then it's passed down. So we used to call it color struck back in the day, but it's a form of colorism. It's when you separate yourself within your own community, and you have within your own family, and my family is like a rainbow, but we didn't have that issue, but a lot of families in the neighborhood, or I see other people, I'm like, well, why are you guys really tripping on that? But I know that is something that I was taught. It did not exist in my household.
No.
It didn't. It was forbidden in my household.
That's
and
So hold on, what was forbidden?
to separate yourself and judge, and just the ignorance, of discriminating against your own people.
Right.
Because
I
my
think-
sisters come in all different. My sisters come in all different rainbows of colors. And like she stated, when I grew up in elementary, the light skinned girl came first, the brown paper bag came second, and then the darker. Yes.
And all of this is learned behavior, you guys. We got to remember that. And you know what else? I think almost every culture suffers from the same thing. So they all have this, but it's directed from this country and from its history, and it's pushed out. So we have to fight that. So
And you're right.
If we make it, what did you say in your family, it was disallowed?
It was forbidden.
It was forbidden.
Yeah,
so if we
thought.
forbid it, then great.
That's right.
You're right.
Yeah, they're right. Certainly there are little, schisms and wherever else in all these different cultures and so forth, so within these intra dynamics, so to speak. But what's going on in the black race, it has blossomed and proliferated outside of our culture, and it is everywhere. So
Everywhere.
it's like and that's another thing that obviously makes it a little difficult, makes it even more controversial, I think, in terms of the black and white dating situation and why it even occurs. So,
But I will say this, even within the white community, to be fair, it does, like he stated, it goes all through, because you have your blonde white is going to go before the brunette white. And there's lots of pretty brunette white women. And
Wonder
more
Woman?
natural beauty looking.
is Wonder Woman fine? She's fine, right?
She was pretty. Xena was pretty.
Yeah, she
Giant big
Well,
old-
that happens all over the world. If you think about it, it happens in India, in China, all the different countries. They have colorism issues. They have the same issues. It's not just the black community. But the problem is...
No, there's
how
issues
to-
with the black community that
Well,
It's just a
supersede
respect.
all these, yeah.
That's a respect problem.
Right, and so
Right.
if we learn to treat each other better and not separate ourselves in our own families, our own communities, then maybe we could pass that along, and maybe other people on the outside, other races of people, they'll know not to treat us that way. If we don't do it ourselves, we're doing it to ourselves.
So what are some of the solutions then?
I have a theory. I was trying to think of a name for it. I've come up with the name Esta El Familia. That's because my Spanish is kind of bad. So if I was going to start a business and I go to my sister and say, hey, I want to start a business, I need you to invest $10,000 or be my first customer. What might typically happen is the sister may be like, oh, that's just Junior. Oh, that's just Junebug. Oh, that's just my talking again, trying to do
It's
whatever.
not a business, a business, right?
Right. So I think it has something to do with being familiar, right? So I'm very familiar with her, for instance, like my sister or whatever, as far as relationship parts go. So I'm very familiar with her. She's like my sisters. We come in all colors also.
Right.
And I'm very familiar with her, right? But this other lady, I'm not that familiar with her. And using that idea of starting a business, I might be more prone to do business with the other lady than to do business with you because we're so familiar. You know what I mean? So because we're so familiar, it's like as my sister. You don't respect me as a professional, right? Because I'm just a little brother.
Well, see,
Right.
I would be the opposite. I would come to my family or my friends and people I know and support them and help them get started
I do
and
as well.
network within my community first before I step out.
I
That's
do.
just the way I am.
Yep.
And I think that's where it needs to start, because we used to do it and we were stronger.
Always.
And when we support each other, we can build and grow together. But when we go and give all our support to everyone else, they don't need it. They have their own resources, but we need it in our own community.
How about
Definitely
this?
need it.
How about this? As a parent, the parent tells the child something, right? Child's like, oh, daddy talking again. Some outside person tells the child the same
He
thing.
hears.
What happens?
He hears them.
That's that idea of being so familiar. If you understand what I'm trying to say, it's just doesn't have the
They're gonna
same
give more
impact.
respect.
So I'm thinking that maybe one of the reasons why, of course, all the brainwashing and all the teaching and the TV and commercials and all that stuff. But another part of it might just be it's just not so
See,
familiar.
I don't think you keep it 100. Okay, here's what's really going on. What's really going on is this: is that in the black community, while certainly there are people who champion the cause of recycling black dollars,
Sure.
they want to see someone else get up. So that certainly exists. But what tends to happen is this: is there's a predetermination that if you're doing a business and you're black, it's substandard quality.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I'm going to
It's
agree.
it's for some reason because the
gonna
pigmentation of your skin, if you went to school for it, or whatever the case may be, because you're doing it and you're black, it's inferior. And not just the white man thinking that, we think that.
We do.
Well,
Okay.
luckily we have things, that we can do to research now. We have computers. We can, research a business
Sure
and
can.
check it out before we
Yep.
invest our time and money. And I think that's helped a lot, because you can want to support the black business but not really sure if you're going to get good service. So what you do, you can just Google Yelp it, and we
That's
have
right.
resources.
That as true as that is, and as honest as that is, the reality is, if you go to a black mechanic, he messes up, you will say, I'll never go to another black mechanic again in my life.
No.
I would not go to that one.
Hold on, you know what?
I would
I'm not even
not that one.
Okay, I'm not even talking about necessarily the mainstream type of.
No, I'm
let's
just
say,
talking
for
about
instance, if you
anything.
want to get a home designed, so you need an architect. So you find this one guy comes by your house. He's Jewish. And you say, "Well, I just want to get another bid."
your friend's
And then
gonna
a
have
black
to.
guy comes by. The more professional things, where it seems as though that we wouldn't see fixing cars and so forth. I guess we can do that. But
I
the
know what
stuff
you're
that's a
saying.
little bit more
The respect
prolific
level, once again,
and
business-wise.
requires a lot more education and training and so forth, we're a step down.
How
so
does
to
that?
speak.
How does that come back to relationships, though? How does that affect relationships?
Because listen, the bottom line is still boils
The
down
white people
to
are better.
respect.
No, I don't think so.
It boils down to respect, though.
The
Because
white
if
peop-
you're not respecting my profession, how are you going to respect me personally? Which connects with the date.
I am saying there are
That's
those who think
kinda what
that
I'm
although
saying.
they probably could be with a black woman, or that a black woman could be with a black man, if they're with someone outside of the black community, a non-black, could be white, whatever the case may be, that somehow they've relationshiped up, so to speak. They're in a better spot. They're in a better situation.
Well, a lot of times, black people in business, they have to be superb. I mean, just
Right.
they have to be so much better to just be treated equally.
To try to override that
Right.
whole.
Yes. And me as a businesswoman, I lived it. I had to have superb customer service just to be
Right.
considered equal.
Right.
And I've been in business over 20 years. So
And in Orange County.
and in Orange County.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've dealt with rejection. It just makes you stronger. But I've had a lot of success also.
Good.
So it doesn't keep you from working hard. It just motivates you.
Well, I will say this. It's outstanding that you even wanted to fight and also make sure you hold up a proper name for yourself and also for your culture. I think it's huge because I've grown up in LA, California, and there are plenty of businesses I've went to that are black, and they don't give a hoots. Maybe when they first started, but they don't care at all, and you can see it with the quality of how it looks. They can care less about the cleanliness a lot of times. And
Right.
let me tell you, they're making tons of money.
Well,
It's not that they're
and
property. They're
and that's-
making tons of money.
but that
They
could
just
be in
don't think
every-
that's important. I understand what you're
everywhere,
saying.
right?
But I'm just letting you know, you're right, in some Hispanic restaurants as well.
I mean, we treat
But-
ourselves
right. But I'm speaking of with black restaurants. Not all, not all, but the ones that I have been to, they don't care about the cleanliness because they've been so successful. They're like, oh well, we're just keeping the same old history the way it was. That's how it brings people in. No, that's not. The dirtiness have nothing to do with the history of your building. I mean, pay for a cleaning person to come in at least once a week and do a deep cleanse, because it's important, because it gives that more respect in all communities that this is a fabulous place, the food is great and it's clean and great customer service.
Leave Roscoe's
and no
alone.
one's gonna
So look, the reason I brought
your
up
eyes.
the reason I brought up the business was the idea of being familiar. Like if you go to someone and they may not use you because they know you, right? Because they may not respect you. And relating that to relationships is you may go to someone else, like the child may believe what someone else tells them over their parent who's familiar with them. Now, if you don't like my theory, that's okay. But I'm going to have to develop it a little bit. But in relationships, don't forget that's what we're talking about.
Right, we're talking about relationships.
Well, that's a relationship.
So sometimes when it goes wrong is when, using black and white again, just because that's the example we're working with, it's when a person makes dating the other person into a fetish activity, right? This is when it goes wrong, right? Because really, date whoever, nobody really cares, right?
Right.
Except for some of the historical problems. There's some mythologies behind black men. There's all kind of them that we won't even mention, and about white women too, I guess, and Asians and everybody else. So, just bringing that back to what we're talking about. We gotta
I thought we were right on point. 'Cause
Exactly.
I thought there were
Relationships.
there were very relevant parallels there.
Exactly.
There are.
Workplace existing, and which is why.
So you're
It
saying take care of
is.
yourself more. and then the
Take
people
pride
might.
in your business.
No, not the business, the person though.
But it's still the person that's running the business. And it's bringing in all cultures to come together.
How about the male-female relationship?
That is still going to bring them in. If you get, because we can connect better in a restaurant, because when we go in their area, that's how a lot of people meet and mingle, in the restaurants, in the bars. What's the difference? If it's a nice environment, we can meet and mingle the same way.
Okay. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we want to go to it?
9 things I learned from dating white guys. This is an interesting article in Essence magazine, dated December 11, 2013. Akila Hughes. Number 1, they never will understand the hair thing. That was interesting.
Wow.
They don't want to say the N word, but they want to talk about why people do say the N word, like why we say the N word among each other.
Which we shouldn't, because that's just a whole nother story. But anyway.
There will always be embarrassed about fried chicken.
Wait. This is why, what, the white women or the white men?
This is what this black lady learned by dating white guys.
Oh, okay.
This
So
has been her
she's
experience.
embarrassed by fried chicken.
No.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay.
will always be embarrassed about fried chicken.
Embarrassed for you. So you're making an effort.
It says
not
right
to-
here, every damn body loves fried chicken.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm
now he's far
Sensitive.
too aware of the stereotypes associated, and it will be torn about every time you pass a KFC. So that was pretty good.
Okay.
They need help knowing what to tell their friends.
They need help.
Oh goodness, he's just as scared to meet your family as you are.
Well, it depends on the family. Some families are welcoming and, open arms. And some families, you already know. You have to prolong that. You have to wait it out
Yeah.
a while. You have to, warm up to it.
Oh, you'll find this really hilarious. Seasoning skills are not something you are born with.
Yeah.
Like you guys just know how to season food.
Of
and
course.
everything. It's a genetic thing.
Well, I mean, I
You're
started
genetically
early.
predisposed to be able to be a good cook.
Well, yeah, you
It's a
know what flavor.
predisposition.
Yeah, you start eating early, and you know
Flavor.
flavor, and you get used to
I just
it.
think
and-
it's the culture. Because there's lots of cultures. Some women ought to cook well.
Yeah. Expect to learn a lot too. She said, I had never listened to Radiohead before dating my last boyfriend, even though I had heard that they were a pretty influential contemporary band. Maybe he doesn't know the words to Creep by TLC, but you don't know the words to Creep by Radiohead either, so be open to those experiences.
Okay.
Halloween presents unique opportunities, and you guys will probably appreciate this. When you fall in love, it will have nothing to do with race.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Love has no color. However, I
not
happen
supposed
to
to.
just love color.
It's not
But
supposed
love
to,
has
it
no
does.
color.
50%
It
of my
does.
love for my woman is going to be because she's black.
See? Yes, it
And
does.
that's okay
and what?
because
Wait.
she understands.
And what black means, right?
And the other 50% would be that she's not crazy.
Okay, that's fair.
so the first
That's
50%
healthy.
we can get with. The
Right,
second is the hard part.
Right, yeah, exactly right. So good luck, right?
That's not
Okay,
true.
I would say 50% would be because he is my true soulmate and we just connect together. And the other 50% would be because I trust him with my life, my other half. So if I don't trust him and, he wouldn't be mine.
Yeah, the trust thing I think is really huge. It's really big for me as well. I mean, I want someone that I can be absolutely freaking honest with. I mean, not like, okay, I cheated, so I got to be honest with you. But like, dang, you know what? Okay, my FICO score is low. Dang, okay,
Exactly.
I really ain't got enough money to pay for this date.
That's right.
Or, dang, I'm intimidated about the situation we're about to walk into, although I'm supposed to leave. Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
The stuff where I can just feel as though that I can be transparent me and you're going to still love me just the same. It's like those 21 questions that 50 Cent talked about, right?
That is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because that's probably one of the biggest issues, actually.
Yeah.
But next week, we're going to talk about what women really want, right?
Ah.
Which is kind of odd because women don't even know what women
Yes,
want.
they do.
A lot of
But
women
anyway.
do. A lot of women know what they want. They just can't
Yes,
get
they
everything
do.
they
And then
want.
the following week, we're going to talk about what men really want,
Okay.
right?
No,
So,
that's who don't know what they want.
Lady in the street.
yeah.
It's pretty
And not-
simple. It'll
I know.
Confused.
For the man, it is, right. So it's going to be like 5 minutes, right? So we should probably, give the women our time.
You might as well just give it out
in
now,
2 weeks,
so now.
call in 2 weeks, man.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. But the women's is more difficult. So, but that is definitely an issue for that. What I would like to do is find out in this discussion, because as it developed into more of a black and white being the real issue, less than anywhere in between, is if there were 3 reasons why, I think this is how we started last week, why women leave, and 3 reasons why men leave, if we could find out what those reasons are,
That'd be great.
and then satisfy those, right? So if I think, except for the things that we can't do anything about,
Right.
things about self-hatred,
Right.
things about, thinking somebody else is better, society,
That's right.
trying to move up, trying to go home and not be black anymore. That stuff, that's something else, right? But the things we can do something about. So if there was a reason why, I won't use you. So.
You can go ahead. No, I'm all for it. Go right
If
ahead.
there was a
Bring it
reason
on.
why you said, what was one of the reasons, Carrie? You said that white men communicate more, right?
Right.
That was
Yes, they're
one
more
of the,
open. They're open to share their feelings.
okay.
And
So if I knew that was a legitimate reason, then what I want all of us to do, the men, is to work on that thing, right?
Yeah.
To work on the communication. There's a quote I love. It says, "The problem with communication is the illusion that it's occurring."
Oh,
Because women sometimes think they're communicating and they might just be fussing, right? It may not actually be coming across, and men the same. So if there's another reason why, especially black women, because they're doing it in more increasing numbers, are leaving, then we can find out those reasons, and we should do this one day. And then the men can say, okay, these are the 3 things we really need to work on, And then for the men, if we leave because we say, oh, they're just nice, I just want you to be nice, right? Then I want the women, instead of saying, well, this or that, all this other, don't say that. Just say, okay, this is an issue that they're having.
It's really serious.
So we are
too.
going to try to be nice. We're going to try to talk to them like they're our child, friendly like that. Or we're going to try to, go get a sandwich and not give me a hard time
Just
about
pamper the man more.
it. Sure.
And definitely just
In a
give
genuine
more
way.
respect.
In a genuine way. So, in as much as anybody can love anyone else.
Right.
Because really, in the end, who cares? And that's really, I think, what most reasonable people would believe.
Yeah.
There are some things to take note of and be aware of. Like I said, because of history and brainwashing and all that stuff, black, white, and everybody in between, we have to have honest conversations about, to make sure that we're not unknowingly involved in the jungle fever or stereotyped foundation of a relationship. So if I'm with a white girl who's great, I might need to talk to her and really make sure she's not doing the wrong thing, right? And her to make sure I'm not doing the right thing. So if we can really work on those things, finding out what the other person's issue is, real issue, and addressing that, then we're going to be in a much better position.
Well, that was a
I see.
mouthful.
Yeah.
Well, an old man was asked, which is more important, to love or to be loved? He replied, which is more important to a bird, the left wing or the right wing?
Both.
That's
That's right.
Depends if the bird's trying to go in a circle or what.
One
Can't
wing.
make a left right. All right. We're going to make some progress, you guys, as a group.
Well,
We're gonna
thank
do
you
that.
for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Yes, where we will take it off and
And
Put it back on. Take it up. Take it off and put it back
wait.
on.
We need something to say.
Take it off and
wait. Okay, we're taking it off and loving each other for it.
Now.
Right.
All right.
Keep on pressing to the top. You can do it if you try. Don't let the time pass you by. Never ever keep it up. Keep on pressing to the top. You can do it if you try.